Well, hello guys. Welcome back to another episode of Living the Grand Adventure. I'm Kevin, and today I'm going to go over 5 tips that new beginners, people who are interested in maybe backpacking, before you even get on trail, that you need to consider. You know, when you first start out, you're kind of confused, you're not sure what you may need to do. So what I'm going to try to do is give you a little head start on what you can do to get on the trail and actually optimize your very first experience. Number 1, guys, research. Research everything that you can get your hands on for hiking. Whether it be watching YouTube videos, there's a number of videos out there online that you can watch, different guys. Each person has a different perspective. Each lady has a different perspective, and they bring something new to the table that you can learn from before you even get on trail. I personally watched hiking and backpacking and bushcraft videos for over a year before I even set foot on the trail myself. I did do my research. Also check forums, check different websites, backpacking magazine, things like that you can look at that will give you ideas on how you may want to get on trail and optimize that very first time you're out there so you can enjoy it to the fullest potential. Research your equipment that you're looking at buying, your pack, whether you want to do a tent or hammock, check into that. Research shoes, that's a very important thing. Foot care. Research all of your cook systems, how you want to perform on the trail, whether you want a jet boil style stove, whether you want the fancy feast stove type, and use the alcohol as actually a way to cook on the trail. Whether you're looking at doing longer hikes, shorter hikes, do your research, because that's the most important thing. Even once you start backpacking, you will want to research every trail that you go on and any new piece of equipment that you buy, whether it be a new pack, you're upgrading to a new pack, you're needing a new piece of equipment because the piece damaged, you'll still be doing research, because that's the easiest way to not make a mistake, is to research everything. And there's tons of information out there, guys. Like I said, either YouTube videos, forums, different things like that. You look at, like when you go to buy a piece of equipment, whether it's off Amazon, eBay, REI, things like that, always look at the customer reviews and listen to the experts. Number 2, my biggest suggestion to people who are just beginning or thinking about backpacking: don't immediately go out and buy all of your equipment. Don't spend all that money to go backpacking without first trying day hikes. Pick something close by, a little bit easier trail. I suggest looking at All Trails, View Ranger. They rank them from easy to very difficult, hard, things like that. Pick an easy trail the very first time that you're going out, and I would keep those trails close to home. That way you're not going out and driving 6 hours to a trail that you haven't researched. You see someone online that likes it, but you don't know anything about it. Look at those trails, research those trails, and then go out and do a day hike. And you don't even have to buy a new pack. Just literally grab a day pack, like a backpack that you may have had from school or something like that. Throw you a little bit of food in there, a lunch, a couple of sandwiches, something to drink, whether it be water or some type of sport drink, something like that, and just hit the trail and try out a 2-mile hike. You may decide, oh, well, this isn't for me. Thank goodness I went ahead and did this day hike, because I really don't like being out here. It's too woodsy, too buggy, any reason. You go out and you decide you don't really like the hiking itself, then you're not going to like backpacking. So what I would suggest is do that day hike. If you like it, do another one that may be a little bit longer. Do like a 5-mile hike. Try that out. Make the next trail a little bit harder. Go from easy to moderate. Also, as you're trying out your day hikes and you're getting used to being out on the trail with a lighter pack, before you even get to the backpacking, what I would suggest is actually taking 2 or 3 times and do a day hike, whatever length, depending on what your experience are with those day hikes at that time. Catch you a few days and go out in the rain. Take you a poncho, a rain fly, whatever you need to kind of go out there and hike in the rain. Because if you can hike in the rain and enjoy it, then you're pretty much good to go. I think you can backpack. But the worst experiences that you can have will be in the rain. The terrain will be much more treacherous. It'll be slicker. You'll be wet. You'll get dirtier. If you're still having fun doing that, guys, doing those day hikes in the rain, then yeah, you could probably backpack. But I would recommend doing that, because if you've experienced the worst of the weather in a day hike, then when you catch it on the trail as backpacking, you're set to go. You're good to go. You know what to expect. I would also recommend, if you've never been camping or it's been a while since you've been camping, go do a couple of overnights, maybe 2 nights, 3 nights in a row, car camping. Then you'll also be able to test whether or not you want to kind of do the camping aspect of backpacking, because it is the two combined. If you decide that you like both of those, everything looks smooth. And if you're still finding that you're enjoying it, then it's time to actually start getting serious about the backpacking. Now is the time to buy your equipment and get out on the trail, guys. So tip number 3, guys, in my opinion, the best thing you can do is start small, even on your day hikes. Just literally plan a couple of miles out, maybe a couple hours on the trail. Go out, try out the smaller trails before you press any more mileage than that. You need to see if it is for you. Now, granted, if you are in much better shape, you're a jogger, someone who runs daily, someone who walks 5 miles a day. If you really would like to, go ahead and extend that. Start out maybe 5-6 miles hiking, with that small day pack. That would be perfectly fine. But if you're an average person who generally just goes to work, comes home and sits on the couch, you do want to start small and give it a shot. Even being a little bit more experienced, the start of this year, after being off trail for a couple of months, Jenny and I actually started out small. We just actually went over to our local city park. It was the middle of February, and we hiked for about 3.5 miles, just to get the blood flowing, to get the body woke up from being, in the cold in the winter. Even then, we started out small with just small day packs, just as a conditioning hike. That's my opinion, that it really would help lean you into getting into the backpacking. It's just starting small with even the small day hikes. Now, once you do move into the backpacking, keep it small as well the first few trips. Don't overdo it, because if you go out and you hike 8 miles the very first trip on the very first day and you're sore and you're tired, you're not going to want to go back out. So start small, guys. Tip number 4, even on your day hikes, what I would suggest is never going out alone. Especially being inexperienced, someone new to the trail, have someone go with you, whether it's your spouse, your fiance, your best friend, your significant other, your partner, your brother, your sister, whoever. Make sure someone's with you. It's always a good idea to have another party with you, someone with you, because if you get hurt or something happens and you get sick, having someone with you could be life-saving. You could get bit by a snake. If you're allergic to bees, you could always be stung by a bee. Different things like that. It's always just better to be safe than sorry. Initially, especially when you're more, less than experienced. Eventually, if you decide you want to, you can try out those solo trips. But starting out, I would recommend never being alone. And tip number 5, guys, whether you're researching, you're out trying out your day hikes to just kind of get into it, you're out there with a friend, you're starting small, whatever you're doing, even later on in your hiking career, make sure you're having fun. Hiking and backpacking should never be a chore. It should never be something that feels like a duty. You should have fun with it. For me, part of it is actually doing the videoing. And a lot of people say that the YouTube stuff is a little bit more of a job-like atmosphere. Trust me, I'm not making any money on this stuff right now, guys. For me, it's about sharing and having fun and trying to help you guys get into this adventure with me. And maybe I will get to see you on the trail, and that would be totally awesome. But like I said, no matter what you're doing on trail, guys, have fun with it. Don't get frustrated. If you get a little lost and have to backtrack, I've gotten frustrated doing that. Just let it roll off your back. Enjoy it. Whether you're out there hiking in the rain and it's nasty, still try to have fun with it. Keep an upbeat atmosphere. You could still be in a much worse place. You could be in a situation where you're unable to go hiking, you're not healthy enough. There are people out there who are like that. So, it's always a better situation for you if you're on trail than what could be, where you could be. So guys, that's the top 5 tips I have for people who are just thinking about getting started on backpacking. Early beginners, this is good tips for you guys as well. I will make another video in the future detailing my top 5 tips for people who are just beginning backpacking and actually have set foot on the trail for the first or second time. Until then, guys, I'm Kevin for Living the Grand Adventure. I'll see you on the trail in the next video. Always live your grand adventure to the fullest.